blogs, and what are the industries required nowadays, and what kind of the projects, okay, and what kind of the people they are seeking. Okay, so this is what exactly with today's class or agenda. So just
Okay, sir.
wait for some time, then after that we will join.
People will keep joining. Let's start with this session. Okay, Gautam sir, would you like to take up the blogs first?
Yeah, sure, Ayushman. So
Let me
yeah, you
share my
can
screen.
share your screen.
Okay, just a second. So I'll first start with the type of blogs, then you can explain what topics you have in mind
Mhm.
for them. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, a lot of you are from the research group. If you haven't joined and are interested, you can start with that. So, first, we'll start with the very basic. Every one of you must have heard about Medium and how to write articles there. Any one of you has tried that? Anyone? They like you don't know about Medium or anything? Okay, anyway, so I'll start with it. So there are a bunch of ways you can proceed with, like where you put in your blogs at Medium. It could be about the generative AI and other stuff. For example, this is the articles that we have written about voice cloning. I'll just open up that link itself. I'll show you some of them, not all of them. Just a second. Yeah. So this is the first one that I want to show you guys. This is the voice cloning one, where you can use a sample of someone's voice and then show that you have a similar voice using text to speech inputs. So this is the Gen AI one, and the other one you guys might be familiar with, that is the DeepSeek R1. So DeepSeek R1, which you can run locally. This is the second type of option in the same Gen AI and machine learning space. The third is using the research papers that are currently running, that is the DSPY and OpenAI, as well as the Colbert. Um, and these are all based on the 2024 and 2025 research papers. I have the links for all of them. We'll be sharing you the slides for them. But the total point is just read that this the titles for and the categories basically where you can write the blogs. So first session that you guys received was basically on the history of AI and machine learning based on whatever has happened already in AI, not in the current space. And then Gautam sir went into the tokenization part and everything. So when you start going for research and start making real world projects, you are supposed to contribute to the open source, and not even that actually builds your portfolio as well as your resume. How many articles you've written, how many GitHub repositories do you have? If you have written any research papers, if you have any published any book chapters. So going into that. So this is your category one, going into Gen AI and how to build those systems. It could be embedding model based, that is the mini LM using Qdrant. It could be AI agents based. It could be a content generation pipeline. It could be using some LLMs like Llama 3, OpenAI, using that. Or it could be on the basis of this, like as Gautam sir taught in the last session, that is the subword tokenization, the using NLP and Python. And it could be based on perplexity, that is another NLP concept. The second topic is you could write articles on data science and programming. So there is a technology called PySpark. If you guys have heard about it, you might have used Pandas and Dash for data frame processing and all. But there is a thing called PySpark which actually optimizes that. You were all asked to write your system configs and CPU and GPU resources in the in your WhatsApp groups, right? So there is a reason for that. So when you're picking out your teams, you need to be sure that if you're working on, I'll just show you one this article. You will understand the reason. So when you run DeepSeek, this is the paper. If you guys want, you can read it later on. But this is what I want to show you. So when you run a DeepSeek model, this is how it looks. You're around using 25 to 26 GBs of RAM, and I'm running my hardware on i9. This is totally a CPU based implementation, and when the DeepSeek actually ran, it actually spiked up my GPU as well. So using 50% of my GPU and about 60 to 70% of a spike in my GPU, and using 26 GBs of RAM. So if you're picking out projects uh, or you are writing articles, you need to be sure that whatever system configs you have, and even if you are well versed in like writing the code and all, your partner or someone must have like hardwares of high config so that you can actually implement those ideas and projects that you are thinking about. Got it? So moving on. So I have explained this PySpark, right? So no, not I have not explained that. So PySpark is actually an engine where you load your data and it actually processes it parallelly. This is a concept of data science. You can explore more on that further. You can work on like MongoDB and database and such articles. Other than that, you have like the setup based articles. So for example, if you are just writing an article on how to run Llama 2 on your local system, there can be an article on that. If you've made a website, or like this is basically an AI group, but you also have to think about how it looks to the users. So you could write a article on the basis of how does it look to the like people who are seeing the results of the LLMs. So it could be based on that. It could be based on optimization using PySQL, or like you can use MongoDB and such. But coming on to what where we are currently at in our sessions, that is the history of AI and everything. So I'll show you like these three articles. Then I'll hand over to Gautam sir. So these three articles are of interest since we are going ahead with the history of AI. So if you guys know, this is the first like the if you know like every must one must have heard about Charles Babbage and his difference engines. This is how it looked. So if you had to replicate that, so this is an article that we have written where we are trying to implement its functionality using Python code and trying to explain to the users how it worked. So this is the first one, and then you have, okay, not this, yeah. This is the second one based on binary code, where we are first discussing how Gottfried Leibniz actually wrote down. This is a screenshot from his actual research paper. That's how he explained the addition of binary digits and everything. And then we explained how the addition actually, and like the division, addition, and multiplication actually worked in his calculations. So everyone must have done this part in college, but this is how it actually happened in his research paper. So if you are interested into research or improving your skills into AI, you need to be sure about what has already happened and how can you replicate that. Then you have to move forward towards the current generations and everything. So we'll now move on to topics. Gautam sir, you can take it up now. Gautam sir, are you here?
Yeah, sorry, I was in mute. Okay. So, yeah, guys. So, I hope like you guys are understood the way we have to write the medium articles, the what are the medium articles you can write. Okay. So, on the basis of you all are already seeing the topics, right? And the so almost we will having the 6 to 7 sections Okay, this is for this month. Okay, so every sections we are covering. One days we are covering the how the backend is working, like how the CPU and GPU is working while you are deploying anything. And after that, another days we are going to see how we can deploy anything into the Dockers or in any cloud platforms. So every day on the basis of the topics, you guys can pick the any medium articles. Okay, so as of all now, the previous class we saw the histories. Okay, so histories we saw due to the time concern, we just saw the overview of that histories. Okay, so where we saw the Elijah, how it started, and after that how machine learning came to the pictures, what are the drawbacks of the machine learning, how the statistics came, and after that how the machine learning models, how the backends is working. So everything we saw, right? On the basis of that histories and that flow, you can see these are the topics in front of you. Okay, so here already you saw some of the articles which from the which written by the Ayushman. So there, if you will see, initially what you have to focus, like maybe some of you already written some of the topics, and some of the people's this is totally new, right? So my suggestion would be always just see, nowadays you can even write that anything while using the chat GPT, but don't only depend on that. Okay, so my focus is like, if you're writing any blogs, just first of all just try to understand how many companies are using these technologies. Okay, so just put some of the maps or just Excel file, like how many technologies already used by some companies, then just put, so where the people attention will come to that. Okay, it means these all are companies are using this. Okay, and after that mainly focus on the what are the drawbacks of using this particular medium blog, or if anything. Okay, so the thing is like, and after that, like use some of the better images. Okay, and after that, for example, guys, if you are putting any input and output, for example, many every people used to put the codes, but some of the peoples also put that, they have to they used to add that output. So if the output is very lengthy, then don't add it. Instead of that adding, just give the link. If the people will click onto the link and it will open that output, something like that you have to do. Don't put the screenshot of output there. Okay, so that the people don't think like it's looking very long. And also don't make any medium article very lengthy. Okay, if you are doing anything, then just try to use the links. Okay, so when someone is opening your medium articles, it should look very less, but inside that you can put so many links, and if you want to attach the documentation, you can do that. Okay, so this is the way, some of the things you have to make it, you keep in your mind while building, while creating this medium articles. And apart from that, if you will see here in this topic, there are the 15 topics are written here. Okay, so here only we focused on the chat GPT. Apart from the chat GPT, you can also go with the llama models, how the llama came and what are the parameter initially, what are the drawbacks they faced, and after that, what is the comparison between the llama and chat GPT, what is the why the deep is came. Okay, which company, from which company it came, and what they people are doing. So this kind of the information, try to make it. Don't make it how to deploy the DeepSeek in locally. Don't make like this. Okay, what are the drawbacks? How the company came from? Like why, to whom, from where it started. So this type of the information which is not present. Okay, so try to add that type of the information little bit over initial stage when anyone is opening in your that medium articles, and with the images. Okay, please try to understand, like images are very very important, because no one will read your whole medium articles, but first he will see the images and the bold letter, whatever the things you have mentioned. Okay, so these are the things you have to keep in your mind. And apart from that, like in coming days, every days the class, we will the topics which we will take, and according to the topics you have to write the medium articles. Okay, and if really we like your medium articles, then I will approve your medium articles, then we will publish it into the Stu Valley. This is the first point. And the second point is like, try to write the medium articles focusing on the cloud platform. Okay, so normally what are the nowadays the people are facing is locally they are anyone can deploy, anyone can code it, but try to add the some of the cost also. Okay, so for example you can mention the year if you are deploying that into the Docker. Okay, and using the Docker, if you are deploying into any one of the cloud platform, let's take it into the AWS, or in AWS any one instance you are using. So in current year, what is the cost? Just also mention that. Okay, and how many computational power it's took, and what are the GPU it's taken, and what is the CPU. So that kind of the informations are very very important. Okay, just try to mention that, and always try to mention whatever the projects you are doing. Okay, like for example if you're trying to write any medium articles basis on that any models, any LLM models, then just create the medium articles for the end to end, like from beginning to end, where you are going to deploy that. And if even if you're not mentioning any deployment, then please give the links where they can find that. Okay, so these are the things the nowadays is very very in or like in a demand. Okay, this type of the medium blocks are in the demand. Otherwise, if you just want to write the text, तो ChatGPT से भी मिल जाएगा, right? So try to make it always add deployment part. Okay, and the second things,
Adding on
second
to
thing.
that, guys, if as Gautam sir already mentioned, if we like your articles, we'll be adding those on to the Stu Valley publishing.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, and so let's move on to um the
projects.
projects.
Okay, so guys, so already I mentioned, right? I told you. So exactly not these projects, but kind of these projects. Okay, so now whatever the projects we have written here, so this nowadays currently in the implementation of the some of the few companies. Okay, so these projects I collected from my colleagues, and even where I worked with some of my clients. Okay, so this projects in nowadays demand in the. Okay, let me even tell you that name of like IBMs, and after that in Mahindra companies, and apart from that one of our client is called as the Illumina, and apart from the some of the Singapore companies. Okay, so even in the southeast countries, eastern countries, so many clients are need this type of the applications. So one application is nothing but, for example what is like so many people's have so if you will see the first one, so engineer often there are the so many equipments. So you whenever you are buying any electrical products, right? So you always used to get one catalog with that. Okay, that catalog is created by the engineer who created that machine. Okay, so engineers don't have that much of time to write everything in proper format, or even the engineers are not good in the grammars or anything. Okay, so though so very very hurriedly they used to write the whatever the they will descriptions about that machines, but they need some application which will take as a input, as a, whatever the things they have written in the notes or anything, and you have to make it into a proper format with using proper company logos, and the header and footer, and using everything should be in the proper alignment. Okay, so they need one LLM models which can do this all the jobs. Okay, and initially if they have any kind of the documentation, then you have to make the documentation the proper alignment without changing any the location of the text. Okay, so that's one project nowadays in the very in demand. Okay, so now so many people created this, but it's not very accurate. Okay, so if you want, you can go ahead. Okay, and the second one is like a, if you have any client, the clients having the so many vendors. Okay, so vendors having their own invoices. Invoices might be in the different languages. If you will go to the one of the PDF with a project's name in group. Yeah, in group also, and also we will share this everything in your portals. Okay, this is just for your showcase. We will share everything in very details. Okay. The second thing is like in the vendors. For example, अगर इंडिया में आके कोई vendor है, तो he used to write his vendor का जो भी information है. Sometime if you will go into the north part of India, and they there you will find कि उनकी invoices हिंदी में होती है. Okay, or else if you will go into the south, so their invoices in their own languages. Okay, so if you will go into the China, their invoices, but China में there are so many vendors are there. Okay, so now you want to collect that physical vendor का जो भी receipt है, that photo you will get. Now you have to extract all the data. You have to store everything into properly into database, and while I'm writing any name of the vendors, I should get all the information: how many tax he paid, how many, what is the GST, and what is the total cost, and what is the transportation cost. So everything you should you can able to extract from the application. So you have to make one application where you have to extract the data, you have to convert into the English language, or you have to store it into the database, and while hitting the database you have to give me the proper things. Okay, even the handwriting is very bad, you have to, your model should capable to understand that handwriting, handwriting. So this type of the application which is in the demand. Okay, and after that the multi okay, so even apart from that, if you will see, right, nowadays, I want to say, guys, there are the so many departments. If you will divide this, what is the IT? IT is nothing but who is serving their services to the different department. One is the department is supply chain department, medical department हो गया, marketing department हो गया, sales का departments हो गया, financial departments हो गए, और हो गया research and development departments. Okay, these are the departments we are serving our services, right? So nowadays, so these are the very top most in nowadays in the market. These people want the AI nowadays, these people want the better application, these people want the optimization. Okay, so modification, go to the third one, Ayushman, third project. Ayushman, yeah. So यहाँ पे it's nothing but the कि one of our client who is transferring who is just shipping their shipments in the different globally in all over world. Okay, now this guy have its own applications. Okay, this guy having the own database, but if you want to operate that application, you need a knowledge. Without the knowledge you can't operate their applications, right? But if the vendor, the person who don't have any knowledge about these things, you should give them a KT to handle these things. Without giving KT, how you can operate? Okay, so there you need to create one LLM models which will take as the simple queries and hit the database and collect the all the details. Might be it's sounds looking very familiar for you, and just you have to create the LLM models for your database. Not that much, it's not just that like that. Okay, here the prediction parts come into the part. For example, also you have to give them a if you have the two columns, one is the shipment date, okay, pickup date, and another one is the delivery date. If it's went apart from the away from the delivery date, it's got delay, right? So you have to give the so reason, you have to give the reason why it's got delayed. So this kind of the prediction also you have to make, but the prediction you don't have to use the forecasting model. You can use the LLM itself for the forecasting. Nowadays even more so many clients coming to us and they are saying don't use any traditional forecasting model, Sarima, Rima, Facebook Profit, rather than give me some models using Chat GPT. Even they don't have the knowledge about it, but these people and the client want the more than traditional model, they want now everything in using LLM models. So how we can do that? Okay, so without using the traditional model you have to use the LLM model. So just put your mind there and just try to come up with the new ideas. Okay, and the third thing is like, okay, here if you will see in the third project, guys, I will not explain every project 10 का 10 प्रोजेक्ट एक्सप्लेन नहीं करूंगा, बट आई एम जस्ट गिविंग द ओवरव्यू. ओके, पहले का 3 4 प्रोजेक्ट हम देखेंगे, उसके बाद जंप इनटू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. Okay, so here also you have to look into the supply chain. If you will see the supply chain is the one of the very everywhere in the country to country. The trading is are going because of the supply chain. Supply chain, अगर COVID में भी if you are seeing the supply chain company are in the top. उसका कोई भी ये नहीं हुआ था, right? So supply chains के लिए now these people are using so many models like a Groovy models and models, B models, so many they people are using the models. Okay, this all are the traditional models. Now using this traditional model, how we can add on this LLM on top of that traditional models, that also you can figure out. Okay, these are the very top matlab, if you will do any one of the project and if you will add this project in your resume na, damn sure that any HR will hire you for, there is a lots of chances have to shortlist your resume gets shortlisted. Okay, and after that, data modification for the reselling the clients. Okay, so this is what we have done in my previous company. I don't want to tell the name of the company. So the what okay, we have the so many clients. Okay, so once we done the any project with the clients, and after that our agreement got closed and everything is done. But now in our database we have the client data. Okay, we have the client data. Okay, so usually what the people used to say is मतलब ना किसके लिए पैसा है, डेटा के लिए पैसा है. ठीक है. So what we used to say, we did is like, once we felt like we have the lots of data, why not we can sell this data. Okay, so we went to the market for selling purpose, but we can't directly sell the client data directly. Okay, we want to do the modification, but as you know, right, बैठकर तो मिलियन डेटा को तुम modification नहीं कर सकते. 10 lakhs data है if anything, so you can't do the modification. So they want one LLM which can modify this data and convert it into the new things with by removing all these things or company का जो, but information way में होना चाहिए. It should be look very informative. ठीक है. So that they need one LLM which can convert that data into the another format so that we can sell to the this world. Okay, so this type of the one LLM, they ask us to create it. Okay, and after that research base, so many things. So these are the project in coming days we are going to give you guys. Okay, so these are the project you can easily build, in your local, but how will you deploy? Okay, what is the computational power it will take, what is the GPU, what is the cost it will take. So everything you can write in your research paper, in your medium articles. Okay, पहले एक POC create कर लो and that just write it down, that POC as a medium articles. Okay, so these are the projects. So anyone having any doubt guys कि कैसे से करना है, क्या है, anything like
So, excuse me, so please, can you explain project 18?
EDA tool automate visualization.
Yes, sir.
Okay, data by automatically generate the charts, graphs, and infographic using LLM image generation models and design to produce the cost efficiency visuals. Okay, so the thing is like, एक minute,
See, it basically means, so this is the second category of projects that we have kept. So some things that we are actually involved in. So if you take up a research paper and if you get into the methodology section of any research paper, it is just text, right? If you don't include any graphs or charts or anything like that, it's just text. So if you can make LLM models to do EDA automatically, to automatically decide, like create AI agents to give you out a data in a particular format and render that into particular tables that can be transformed into the charts and graphs. This is what the project 18 is about.
Pranjesh, have you used the Pandas AI? ने Pandas AI use किया?
Yes, sir. I used it in my project. Actually, I made that project as a prototype level, but
Yeah.
I
So
didn't deploy it.
yeah, so the thing is like there is the Pandas AI is what it used to do is like you can write it in the normal language. It will create the tables. It will align. It will clean the tables, and also it's capable to create the charts, right? And apart from that, there are so many EDAs ka library that is available, but directly you can't deploy that all the EDAs library into the any AWS or any cloud platform. That's for the only for the use cases, normally for the users. Okay, so now you have to create the multiple agents. Okay, so there is one more project, guys. So nowadays there are the lakhs and thousands of agents are available. So merging the two three different agents, how to create the single agents. Okay, so here what you can do is there are so many agents are available for the charts creation, the graph creation. So you can merge that and create one new agents using that LLMs. That will work. Okay, so you can use that agent in even the cloud. Okay, rather than any libraries. So that's what you can also do in this particular 18 project. Okay, see, this is we are just giving the problem statement. Okay, this is the problem statement. If you have the better idea, you can go with that idea and you can build it. This is just a problem statements which the now current companies nowadays working on this kind of the problems. अगर इसमें से एक भी तुम solution लाते हो ना, if you are bringing any one solution, we can add on that solution with the different projects. If you will see in the 18 project वहाँ पे EDA करना है, automate the visualization, ये तो हर project के जरूरत है. Or right, whatever the if you have the text in the data in the Excel format and CSV format, हर project के लिए this should be important. This is needed for nowadays.
This
It is need
project
right.
basically states that when your data is in a paragraph format, for example, if I give you this Word file, and will you be directly able to generate charts and graphs using this? I just gave you this Word file. Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
So that's what this project is about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move into the Ayushman. So next आपका जो
Yeah.
है इसमें करिए, ठीक है?
So this is all about the projects, and that's what you do have to do for Medium and everything. I've explained the publishing part. Gautam sir has explained the projects as well as just take a screenshot for this. Be ready with this. So like there are about 70 people in the meet. So each of you has to choose a topic from here and write an article about that. Please refer the research papers that were written, and I'll highlight this particular like not everyone has to choose this, but I'll highlight this particular topic, that is understanding transformers, why attention is all you need. So this is the first research paper, attention is all you need, that actually got us the transformers libraries. And on the basis of this transformers libraries, you got your chat GPT's aha moment, and then you got the different LLMs and all. The GPT-2, that's not 3.5, I'm talking about 2, that was not even publicly available. That is the first chatbot that came after this attention is all you need model. So pay attention on that. Other than that, the word to vec and the RNNs versus LSTMs, this topic is also good. So just write an article on that, and you are supposed to put up your links in the group itself. If you're in the research group, just put it in the research group. If you're not, you just put it in the main group. Just write one article and put that Medium articles link in the group itself that you have written this article. Got it? So everyone, I'll just give you just 5 seconds to just take a screenshot for this. Okay, so now let's move on to the research part. So those of you who are interested in research were made to join a separate group, made to write your system config and everything so that you can know your peers better and form different groups. So I think it has been, I'll keep this form open. So some people have started like putting up their groups in the Google form itself. Other people are yet to fill the form. I'll encourage you to do that quickly. So I'll just give a brief about the types of researches that are going on. And this is the published ones that we have from our company. So there is like in the types of research contributions that are recognized by the AI industry right now, it's we have the category one, that is developing the best models. So you can have a embedding model, you can have a text generation model, you can have a image generation model, and you can have a detection model. And that's where you play with the accuracy parameter or a different kind of parameter. For majorly it's accuracy, but it could also be the precision recall as well as the other metrics that are used. It could be cosine, it could be mmlu benchmarks for the llms. It depends on the type of model you're going for. But the category one is developing the best model in a particular category. So we'll discuss this paper, that is efficient approach for detecting neurological tumors. So in this, we had made a deep learning model which had a 97% accuracy in detecting the neurological tumors. Okay, this covers AI in healthcare, and it uses the data set to fine tune it. Like this was MobileNet, I guess. So we used that and presented that in this conference. This is the iCircs. This is the second one, and it is kind of new. If you guys have heard about uh, mobile ad hoc networks, that is MANET, or VANET, which is vehicular ad hoc networks. And everyone must have heard about these algorithms, Bellman-Ford, Dijkstra, genetic algorithm, so on. So we actually made a quality of service based optimization algorithm which actually transfers your messages quickly with the highest parameter of quality of service on the basis of different metrics like what is the energy transmission rate, bandwidth, and all. So this is the like other part you could go about, that is cross domain application, but still developing the best model in that particular sector. The second category is the cross domain AI application using pre-trained models and frameworks. It's not always necessary to build the best model in a particular category. You can also go about the cross domain applications using the pre-trained models. So if you know about Hugging Face, a lot of pre-trained models are already available where you don't need to do anything. You just need to download that into your local, or you could even use your Colab, like the Google Colab, and implement your code there. So this is the second, like another paper that we had written at Stu Valley. So just open it up. So this has been recently published by a company where we use the visual question answering models as well as the image description models to and a framework that is the Rorschach test framework to generate image descriptions that are nearly human. And we have also evaluated that to prove it on the basis of that. So any kind of research that you do, there are two parameters to consider, the qualitative as well as the quantitative evaluation. Okay, if you are able to prove that your model works on the basis of two of them and comparing it with the previous models in history, then you can say that you have achieved something good. So these projects are the ones you can't like. We'll give you more options. Like we'll actually allocate you the projects. Like this particular list is for your medium articles. But if you proceed further, like if you are able to test the benchmarking and you believe you have basically outplayed some previous research paper that was just recently presented, then you can go for a research paper. So we'll present you with topics while like after you filled up your group forms, we'll present you with topics that you are able to do that because we are very much in the industry and know what's going around. So if you're able to achieve that level, that's fine. Uh, Otherwise, you have other options as well. There's not just research papers and research. There's also book chapters. So this is the book chapters that like this is one book chapter that we have published. This is basically AI in drug detection. So in this book chapter, what we had actually done is written about basically done a literature review of how AI was involved into drug detection and presented a formulation which was not clearly validated but was actually state of art, that how can AI predict the drug molecules and kind of put up a suggested a way to transform them into the same. So in that way, you can actually, if you're suggesting people something to do and you have a literature review backing you, like your thoughts, you can write up a book chapter. This is also a book chapter, that is the intelligent traffic management system using vehicular ad hoc networks. That is how the vehicles would converse with each other using a mobile ad hoc network in a 6G based environment. For example, when 6G will be introduced, this is already happening into currently in electric cars or something. For example, if two electric cars are just one after the other, they actually slow down their speed. This is being implemented into the Teslas that are there in US right now, and wherever like 6G is introduced, this technology has been suggested to be implemented. This has already been created, but this was actually in 2024, and towards the end, it was actually implemented as well in some places. So this is a book chapter about that. So that is category 3, AI for infrastructures and smart systems. You have your category 4, which is basically a derivative as well. That is the hybrid AI combining techniques for new insights. So, as I mentioned, this mimicking the mind's eye research paper, uh, it is based on Rorschach test. So, some people might know about this, but it's actually quite ambiguous if you depend on a particular person to judge your Rorschach test. But if you involve AI, it's unbiased. Or you can say it is biased, but on the basis of the training data. If the training data is good enough and if you satisfy the models at their base level and they are able to satisfy the benchmarks, then you can say it is in a way unbiased. So here we use the image captioning models as well as image description models, and then we use the Llama 3 to concatenate all the responses together and present a image description that was nearly human and used a hybrid architecture. So this actually also used about 20 GBs of RAM and a lot of GPU power. So before considering what kind of research you get into, be mindful about how many, like whatever your team's specs is. Like if you're able to have that much GPU or computing power, then you can proceed with these applications. Otherwise, you have to consider other things like book chapters and so on. It's not that they will not get published, but of course, research papers are of more value. So right now your target is to just be mindful about these projects. We'll give you more and some state of the art as well. For example, will like some team, if they want, they can take it up. Uh, that is the ethical AI considerations in GPT data. So if they can make a way where you are able to embed some trackers into the training data, when it is reproduced by GPTs, it is reproduced again because it was there in the tracking data. This is also another interesting project. So for now, I'll just suggest you guys.
Anshman, you're in mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm saying that just focus on your team configuration on the basis of the intros people have given. This is the extent I have shown into that you can reach. But then again, this is up to you how much you are involved with us. Because see, if we see that you are working on a good project and you are actually able to proceed with that, we'll give you more attention and we'll work with you all together. If you're just here to attend classes, that's actually different. Okay. So just for now, just talk to each other and configure your teams. Fill up the form has already been shared, and start filling up your forms, because anyone who's so we can only start the meets with the teams when you fill up the form, right? Because if the team is not configured, you can't just start any project and expect us to work with you, right? So that's it. Just write this, like your tasks for currently are write article on this, put up your Medium articles link in the group, and then configure your teams so that we can start working with you on what kind of research you want to do, and we'll allocate you projects and so on.
Hmm. That's great. Okay, so after that, guys, now we will share you one Excel file. Okay, so there we will mention team. So you just give the team, just write it down your team names.
They
Give
have been
one team
shared a
names
Google
for the
form, sir.
funny
They have been
for
shared a
the
Google
research,
form.
right?
No, no, no. This is for all of them. For the projects and the research, they will function in the same group.
Okay, but guys, the project will start after the once the class will completed. Okay, but research you can give your name and you can parallelly you can work. But once completed all the classes, you can start your project. But meanwhile, after each and every classes, you can contribute with the medium articles. Okay, so definitely like if your medium articles, agar if the people is the first time and they are giving their best, even we will encourage them and we will support them and we will try to launch their medium articles. Okay, even if anything if want to add it into that, then we will give them give our suggestion, you can add it, and after that we will launch that medium articles in our websites from our end. Okay, so guys, as of all now, just focus on the one things, medium articles, and after that parallelly you can just do your research for the research topics, and try to don't go with any product based research. It's my personal suggestion, right? Because if you want to build in your career in this IT, so currently look into it in India or in which company you're looking for, like what kind of the research will help you to pursue the job and pursue a good company. Okay, position. So uske according you can just select the projects which will also help our to valley. So that kind of the research we will give more important. Okay, so don't initially if this is your first time, then start up with this kind of the model building, model core case accurate kare. And I mentioned so many projects uske basis mein you just started to work, because this is very important nowadays. Okay, and already, so how many people gave their name, Ayushman? Any idea? Like, is everyone gave their names or like?
For in the research group right now, there are about 70 people. So like they'll be more involved into the projects and the research part. Other than that, if
It's
they
not
want,
important कि तुम्हें research को भी साथ में करना, project के भी साथ में करना. If you want to switch the team, then you can also switch. We can also give the that facilities, Ayushman, right? Okay.
we'll discuss that later, sir. But right now, let it be the same because see, it will like we'll discuss that later.
Okay,
But right
okay,
now,
okay, okay.
let's
That's great.
just yeah, we
So,
let them just form the teams and fill up the forms. Then we can discuss that.
okay, okay, great. Okay, guys, that's it. Any questions or anything, or else we can wind up because we are out
Excuse
of
me,
time.
sir.
Yeah, yeah.
सर जैसे कि मोस्ट पर्सनल कंप्यूटर्स के अंदर सर जीपीयू अवेलेबिलिटी होती नहीं है। जैसे कि मैंने काफ़ी जिन्होंने मतलब अपने इंट्रोडक्शन भी दिए है, तो सर जैसे कि गूगल कोलैब दे देता है जीपीयूस हमें टेम्परेली।
जीपीयू कोई भी कंप्यूटर लैपटॉप में तो तुम्हें नहीं मिल सकता, उसके लिए यू हैव टू गो विद दिस थिंग्स। एवरी पीपल व्हाट एवर द प्रोजेक्ट्स यू आर डूइंग, जस्ट कीप इन योर माइंड, हम उनको क्लाउड में डिप्लॉय करेंगे। यू हैव टू बाय दैट इंस्टेंस और यू हैव टू बाय इट। ओके, उसके बेसिस में जस्ट डू इट, एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आई डोंट थिंक सो इन लैपटॉप।
You can go with for the research, you can go with Google Colab. There is also option that you can use Kaggle. Kaggle also gives you 16 GBs of RAM and a good GPU
यस
for some time.
एंड
Uh,
सर
Go ahead.
सॉरी सर वो डेटा सर जैसे कि सर्च करना कंप्यूटर विजन को प्रोजेक्ट हो गया या फिर तो उसके अंदर से आप डेटा सेट आप प्रोवाइड करें या आपके थ्रू प्रोवाइड हो सकता है या फिर वो हमको उसका हमें खुद ढूंढना पड़ेगा।
Right now you have to find it on yourself. So like this, as Gautam sir mentioned, after 3 months, if you are able to continue with us, we'll give you the data sets. Okay, but like right now, we'll just leave it up to you guys on like whatever projects you take up. But for this, I'll suggest that if you are able to, if you're like, there are laptops with good GPU power. So if you don't have that, then it becomes a little difficult to run different models in parallel.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this mimicking the mind's eye research that we did at our company. So it was actually running 4 to 5 different models in parallel. So one VQA model, three image description models, then Llama 3.
Yes.
So you can imagine how much RAM and GPU power it must be using to run all of that.
So if you have a choice between pursuing research projects and the projects that you highlighted earlier, or we have to do.
See, whatever you pursue, right? So if you are, there are like levels, as I mentioned before. Any project you start with, it starts up with a normal Medium article.
Yes.
Okay. When you do a literature survey into that what has actually happened, and there it becomes a good Medium article. So, and even if you go like a little more depth into it, then it becomes a book chapter. Now, if you are able to utilize your knowledge and you have good coding skills, then and you are able to get a data set for it, you move into optimizing a best model for a particular task.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
And then if you are able to move one step ahead of that, you get into AI agents and running models in parallel. And if you are able to go one step more ahead of that, you are able to like build. So you know this like how DeepSeek was trained, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Through transfer learning.
Yeah, through transfer learning. How do you think that data was directly fed into it, or is there a way to process that as well?
So I think there's a way to process that as well. They were like GPT used semi-supervised learning, but they used something supervised learning. But for DeepSeek, they used data, and based on that result, they trained the other modules. So with
So
limited data, so they were able
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. So the data was limited, but they actually generated chain of thought streams.
Okay. Yes.
So those chain of thought streams were dynamically generated using AI agents so that they can be like the data the DeepSeek actually got was in a chained format and was able to learn reasoning through it. Do you
Yes.
think it can happen if you are running just one model in parallel?
No, sir. Not at all.
Yeah, so that I've told you the flow. So don't think your normal, if you're starting off with normal Medium article, it's just that. Think of everything that if you want to do, it's I'm going to make it like the state of the art. So if you're not able to achieve that, just settle on a Medium article or a book chapter. But I'll encourage you guys to make up teams and fill up forms in a way that you are happy with your teammates, that they are people to be respected and they have done something, and you are the person who can take up a lead and are wants to develop something that is actually state of the art. So because see, we'll help you in publishing and all. You don't need to bear the charges of anything if it's actually a good research.
And if we need to access external GPUs for those charges,
Right now, we won't be able to help out on that. The GPUs and everything. You can like go ahead with your
Google
this
Google
Kaggle or
Colab.
Google
Oh,
Colab.
okay. So like
So
provide small progress time to time, and then we can see.
yeah, this then we can see because see, like we also have to think about the infrastructure that we are giving you guys, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from anyone else?
Okay. Then if there is no question, then we can wind up today's class. Okay. Thanks, team. Thanks for your time. Thank you, guys.